Urban Therapy with Sun 752, and this your daily go geterism number 400, number 524. My fault, y'all. Yo, for March 10th, 2016. Tonight I want to talk to y'all about trying to beat somebody at their own game. Trying to beat somebody at their own game. Who doesn't try to do that every now and then? When we know that we're good at something and we see somebody else doing it and we think that we can beat them, the challenge in our mind, it goes off. We say, well, all right, I think I can take this kid out. It may not even be for anything. Sometimes it's for money and sometimes it's just for fun. But all challenges aren't good challenges. And sometimes we challenge people in things that they are really experts in and we don't know how good they are at something. And it can wind up either embarrassing us, costing us money, or just making us look stupid. And none of those are really favorable situations. But it happens to us, and you would think as we get older we would know a little bit better. But hey, you live and you learn. You don't, live first and then learn later. Hopefully you get the learning first, and that helps you to live better. But you take like sports. Sports is one of those areas where a lot of times people make things look easy, but they aren't really easy. How many times do you hear people say when they watch professional sports? That such and such is overpaid for something. They shouldn't be getting all of this money when they're not that good and all of that. They don't really realize the time and dedication that these athletes put into what they do in order to get the kind of money that they get. Not only that, but you also have to take into consideration the people who are writing the checks for them. You know how much money you have to be able to that you have to make to be able to pay these sports celebrities as much money as they get paid. But we don't go bitching about the owners. Like, we don't go saying things like, that owner don't deserve to make all of that money. They're not that good of an owner. See, our thinking is different. But in terms of what we're talking about in this video, if we see somebody, like let's say we're good at basketball, and we think that because we're good at basketball, that we could beat somebody who play basketball on a professional level, even if they're just in college. You know how much they have to practice in order to get good as they are, and you don't think that they're that good. But when you get on the court with them, you realize that now I see how come they got recruited. Now I see why they got recruited to go to college. They got a scholarship, and now I see why they were able to play in the NBA for a little while, because they're good, really, really good, and they're around expert competition. So somebody like you who isn't practicing on the level that they're practicing and isn't dedicated on the level that they're dedicated, you're not going to be able to beat them. You're trying to beat them at their own game, it's not going to work. It would be the same way as if you were a chess player and you're really, really good at chess, but you are dealing with a chess player that challenges in competitions. He may not win those competitions, but he's good enough to go against the best in the world. So that means that he's one of the best in the world. He may not be the Tiger Woods of chess, or the what's his name, Joey Fisher. He might not be the Joey Fisher of chess playing, but he's really, really good. So you go up against somebody like him, he's going to beat you. He or she is going to beat you. They're going to beat you time and time again. Now, one of the interesting things about and the way that an experienced chess player plays against an inexperienced chess player is that the inexperienced chess player always scores more pieces in the game. But that's not how you win in chess. You have to get that queen. If you don't get the queen, then you're not going to win at chess. So an inexperienced player is going to be playing like checkers, so he's going to have all these pawns, he's going to have all these rooks, he's going to have all of these bishops and whatever, but he's not going to be able to protect his queen, and he's going to lose. Trying to beat somebody at their own game. It's hard to beat somebody at their own game. Even if you're just a player, like a player, you're a cheater. You got a lot of men, or you got a lot of women, or whatever. You're a player, stone cold player. And you know how it is with some of us, we believe that our love can stop somebody from doing what they're doing. So, or maybe we're players ourselves, and we figure that we can outplay a player. Like, I ain't worried about that. I got experience in this field. He or she ain't gonna beat me. And y'all go up against this player, You wind up getting played, just like players do. You know, why spend your time in an area of your life that's really not going to give you anything good, even if you win. But the spirit of competition is in us, and we think that the way that somebody else does something, we could do it better, and we wind up either losing money or losing. Well, we get embarrassed. And in the case of a player, a lot of times both of the things happen. You wind up losing your money, and your heart goes along with it, and you be bitter as hell after all of that said and done. I'm gonna tell y'all a little story about something I witnessed back in the day. Remember that y'all know that game 3-Card Molly? Now we call it 3-Card Molly in the hood and on the streets, but the actual term for it is 3-Card Monte. Now you could play with it with 3 cards, or you could play with it as a shell game. Now I'm going to tell y'all a story about the shell game that I saw on the back of the 65 bus, and this was the year 1990. I was on my way to my little part-time telemarketing gig at 54th and City Line in Philadelphia. Now I'm on the back of the bus, and I see these 3-Card Molly guys with the shell game, and they're playing the shell game. Now the way that they suck people in is they're normally 3 people, and then 2 other people serve as actors. So you have the one guy doing the shell game, and then you have the other 2 acting like they're betting. And they're either winning or losing, and they're like, oh man, I'm going to get you next time, whatever. And that sucks people in that are witnessing this, because they think that they can beat them at their own game. So this one time, this one woman thought that she could beat these 3-Card Molly guys at their own game. So what they'll do is they'll let you win one, and then because they don't even do it fast and everything. So the way that they get you to bet is they say, all right, listen, let's just play a game for fun, and they'll mix around the shells and all of that, and they'll lift up one, and you know it's not there. You see that it's not there. They'll lift up the other one, and you'll see that it's not there. So you know that it has to be under the third one. So they say, which one is it under? And he already showed you the 2 that it's not under, so it has to be under the third one. So you pick the third one, and then you'll be right. And he said, oh man, you're pretty good at this. And you feeling confident because you done already won one. You got a win under your belt. So he'll mix them up again, like, all right, let's do it again. So he'll pick up the second one, and then he'll pick up he'll pick up one, and he'll pick up the other one, and you see that it's not under the first or the second one that he lifted up, so it has to be under the third one, right? And you'll be like, yeah, all right, it's under that one. And he'll say, all right, put up some money. And you're like, all right, put up some money. So whatever money you have, he's going to take. So it might be $20, but in this case, this woman put up like $40. No, $60 she put up, and it wasn't under the third one. And then when she picked up the first one that he picked up, it was under that one. It was like a miracle. And she was pissed off. She made a big scene at the back of the bus, and he wound up actually giving her some of her money back. He wouldn't give back all the money, but he gave her a lecture that I'll never forget, and it changed my life as far as having respect for what they do, and the sympathy that people, my sympathy for people who try to challenge them at their own game. He said, listen, only reason I'm giving you this money back because I don't want no problem with the cops or nothing. But he said, you was so greedy. You was greedy. You wanted what I had, and you thought you could beat me at what I do, and that was your greed telling you to do that. And then when you lost your money, then you want to piss a bitch and act crazy and all of that kind of stuff. If that money that you put up was so important to you, if you needed it for other things, you shouldn't have put it up. But it was your greed that made you do that. You were so greedy. And I sat back and I listened to what he was saying. And I said, I'll be damned, he's right. She was greedy. She was greedy, and she was optimistic and confident, that thinking that she could outsmart him, beat him at his own game, and take his money, even though that's what he does for a living. So had she won, she would have stepped off like, look, I took those suckers. But she wound up losing money. And it's true. We go through those kind of things in life all the time, where we think that we're better at somebody at what they do, until we try to do it ourselves and we find out that there's more to it than meets the eye. Good things happen to those who wait. Great things happen to those who grind. And anything can happen to those who go for theirs. So go hard, go for yours. And remember, one of the things that I want to talk to y'all about this topic before we get up out of here is this. You know, when somebody is an expert at something, that means that they practice at it constantly. And as you practice at something, you get better at it. So once you reach that expert level, you've seen all of the things that crop up from people who are not as good as you. So you know exactly what to do in certain situations because you've been trained to identify these things and be able to combat them. So for people who don't understand that, you know, the next time that you complain about how such and such is not that good as such and such, but you're talking about something that you don't do, just have a little bit of respect. I'm not saying that you can't hold the opinion of whatever your opinion is on what they do, but just have a little bit of respect for what they do, because if they didn't have what it took to be where they are, then they wouldn't be there. And another thing, especially when we start bitching about how much these athletes make, we will say things like such and such is not good at whatever he does. I don't see why he's getting all of that money. As if like we're counting their money for them. We all in their pockets. But at your job, at our jobs where we work 9 to 5 or whatever, however it goes, if we don't perform all the way up to the level that we were getting paid for, do we tell our bosses, you know what? Keep part of my check because I didn't work that hard for it this pay period. Do we ever do that? No. We look for that money every other week, and it better be deposited into our account where that check better be there. We make it up the next time. It's the same way with these athletes. It's the same way. And not only that, speaking of the boss, why don't we ever say that, you know what, the owner of this team is not a great owner. They shouldn't be able to pay these players all of that money that they make. Y'all just think about that. Think about that one. And think about this too. The Mind Right and Body Better Fitness program is this Saturday, March 12th, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at the McVeigh Recreation Center. So make sure y'all come through. Get back on your constitution, man. Start getting your workout on and get your body back and your money and your mind back in tune the way you promised yourself you was going to do it at the beginning of this year, man. It ain't too late to get back right. Y'all be just like this, man, getting right for real. You know what I mean? Mind Right and Body Better. It don't get no better than that. 400 East Ontario Street at the McVeigh Recreation Center. This March 12th, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Come do it with us. All right? I'll holler at y'all later. All right?